Residents of Miami-Dade, getting your COVID-19 vaccination is an important part. Help everyone stay safe as we continue to fight the spread. And we can protect those most vulnerable around us. With easy access to vaccination locations and the growing ability for more people to be protected, it's our best shot to keep moving forward. It's our best shot for a strong, healthy community. For more information, visit miamidade.gov/vaccine.
Good morning. It's Tuesday and it's 11 a.m., which means it's time for the FIU Music Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM, where we present live weekly performances in the WDNA Jazz Gallery and feature students, faculty, and alumni from Florida International University's Herbert and Nicole Wertheim School of Music and Performing Arts. I'm your host today and FIU faculty, Dr. Russ Spiegel, and along with our executive producer, Dr. Karen Velaz, we'd like to welcome you to our show. Whether you're listening to us at home, in your car, or live on wdna.org/FIU, we are delighted to have you with us. Today, we are pleased to feature guitarist Greg Diamond with FIU Professor Mike Eckroth on piano. Greg Diamond is a prolific guitarist, composer, and recording artist originally from New York City. Touted as a rising star in the New York jazz scene by All About Jazz and a composer of great maturity and genius by the Latin Jazz Network, he has created his own niche with a noteworthy versatility as a guitarist and innovative and eclectic approach to composition. His compositional style has been described as a smorgasbord of approaches, infusing a broad spectrum of genres such as contemporary and Afro-Latin jazz, hard bop, blues, Americana, Latin American folk traditions, classical, funk, hip-hop, and jam band, among many others. He will perform a set of originals featuring longtime friend and collaborator Michael Eckroth on piano. And here we are with Greg Diamond. Fantastic, Greg. What was the name of that piece that we just heard?
It's a tune called Capricciosa.
And that's an original. We're going to be hearing all originals today. Is that correct? Or mostly?
Mostly we'll throw in a couple standards, I think. Yeah.
All right. What are we going to hear next?
This is a tune called Naufrage, or it translates as Shipwreck. And it came out my first record, Danzando con Male, from 2008. Yeah, Naufrage.
All right. Really nice. Really nice. Greg, I have a couple questions for you for our listening audience who don't know you yet. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and maybe just hold off on the guitar for a second so we can talk. I know, I understand. But yeah, tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I was born in New York City. I was raised in the suburbs of southwestern Connecticut, of mixed Jewish American and Colombian. Jewish on my father's side, and Colombian on my mother's side. She was born in Colombia. So yeah, I've been. So I come from a very I guess you could say bicultural home, but the Latin was definitely very prominent, the influence from my mother. And I've been traveling to Colombia my entire life, ever since I was a kid. And I lived there for a couple of years. I was studying music there at a small academy in Bogota. Yeah, I got into guitar, I guess, around the age of, I was in my early teens, and just like a lot of kids my age, the initial appeal of guitar is rock music, classic rock and whatnot. But on the same token, I come from my father was he was a very accomplished pianist and vocalist. He went to Juilliard as a kid for 10 years and yeah, he tried to make it as an opera singer, but eventually it didn't really pan out, and he went into something else. And but needless to say, yeah, music was definitely a big part of my upbringing in my home. My sister was my father's basically protege, and he was really invested a lot of his energy into, he wanted her to be the next Maria Callas, and that didn't, But
does she sing? Is she a professional singer?
Not
now?
professionally, but she did study music, and she got her master's at Berklee Conservatory and everything. She studied with a great voice teacher named Trish Caffrey in New York, but she lives in California now. But so yeah, I mean, my musical journey's been kind of maybe a bit unusual, but yeah.
When did you come down to Miami again? There was a few years ago.
5 years ago.
Right.
5 years. Yeah, 5 years ago. Unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
Feels like
you came here
like 5 years
to study music, and
I came here to do my DMA at UM, and I finished that basically at the height of the lockdown, May of 2020. So I did my what do they call that? The defense, the defense, and the other one, the lecture recital. I did that virtually. Yeah.
Wow. So, who are some of your biggest influences?
Oh, biggest influences. I mean, and I kind of go all over the place. There's so many different things that I look. In
Maybe
jazz,
top 3, top 5.
Man, it's so hard. I mean,
putting you on
I
the
can tell
spot.
you in the guitar land, there's it's hard to even narrow it down to 5. But I'm listening right now. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of Bill Frisell. Listen to a lot of, I guess Schofield, Kurt Rosenwinkel, those more modern guys. But then on the same token, I love, Jim Hall. I love Pete Bernstein. I love, there's and so many of my contemporaries that are just the guys that always blow me away, like Lage Lund and Jonathan Kreisberg and Mike Miranda. Those guys are all just amazing to listen to and to check out and to learn from. But and then the great masters, of course, you can't. I mean, I love Wayne. I love Herbie. I love Coltrane. I love Charlie Parker. You can love Thelonious Monk. It's just endless. And but on the Latin end of the spectrum, and this is something Mike and I really shared a passion for, was like in the Afro-Cuban, the Son Montuno tradition. Arsenio Rodriguez is kind of like up there in the pantheon of great Afro-Cuban artists, and I still to this day listen to a lot of Arsenio, and
the great Cuban tres player.
And there's also, there's so many great guitarists also from the Latin, the Brazilian guitarists, and there's so many Argentinian, Colombian. There's so many, phenomenal musicians to check out. Right now, I listen to at least this guy, Yamandu Acosta. I
Yep.
saw him live recently at the FIU Forum, the theater.
Right.
Someone invited me there, and I got to see him live, and I was like, whoa. Man,
Yeah, he's a beast.
that was very inspiring, to say the least.
Yeah.
So
Now about
so-
this duo that you have, the piano and guitar. That's there's something special about that. And how long have you guys been playing together?
Since 2009.
Wow.
I remember because we played at this place that we used to play at a lot in New York called New Blue. That was kind of our, it's a little club in the Alphabet City, and that was kind of that was our playground for many years with my band. And Mike and I we've done 3 records. I mean, he's been a sideman on 2 of my records, and we did 1 collaboration. So Mike, needless to say, we've been playing a lot together over the years, and he's like a brother to me. So it's we've never, in full disclosure, we haven't really performed in this format before. So this is we've gotten together to play, but this is kind of a first for us, right?
Wow.
So yeah, but so far I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, you might want to consider. Yeah, you might want to consider this. It sounds great. So for our listeners, how can they find out more about you? How can they find out about you online?
You can go visit my website, gregdiamondmusic.com. You can become my 40th follower on Spotify. My 40th month. Yeah, I am on Spotify. All my music's up there. But so
Excellent.
You're more welcome to check it out there, or any other major streaming hub. Tidal.
Excellent. So where are we going to hear next?
Well, we were thinking of maybe playing a little standard from the Great American Songbook. So we'll play Nothing, All or Nothing at All.
All right, Greg
Try to
Diamond
swing
and
a little.
Mike Eckroth. You're listening to the FIU Music Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM with guitarist Greg Diamond and FIU professor Mike Eckroth on piano. We'll be right back after these messages.
There are a lot of ways to build a strong body. And for the residents of Miami-Dade, getting your COVID-19 vaccination is an important part. Help everyone stay safe as we continue to fight the spread. And we can protect those most vulnerable around us. With easy access to vaccination locations and a growing ability for more people to be protected, it's our best shot to keep moving forward. It's our best shot for a strong, healthy community. For more information, visit miamidade.gov/vaccine.
This week, the FIU School of Music will be hosting the following concerts. Tomorrow, Wednesday, January 18th, 7:30 p.m. at the Wilsonian. It's the 26th Annual New Music Festival with composer Augusta Reed Thomas, Rachel Calloway on soprano, the soprano singer, and the Amornay String Quartet, who are artists in residence at FIU. Classical music is ever evolving and with new sound worlds and ambitious experimental composers. This evening is a collection of cutting-edge contemporary classical works, including a world premiere by celebrated composer Augusta Reed Thomas, performed by the acclaimed Amornay String Quartet and guest soprano Rachel Calloway. On Saturday, January 25th at 7:30 p.m. in the Wertheim Concert Hall, Svetozar Ivanov on piano and Sarah Elisa Villa on voice and dance present The Mystery of Stillness. 9 multimedia vignettes inspired by poetry. Music by Cowell, Scriabin, Berio, Krum, Well, Ustovskaya, Cage, Sariaho, and Rushevsky. Poetry by Sappho, Borges, Apollinaire, Lorca, Akhmatova, Rilke, E.E. Cummings, and Paz. Animation by Leslie Smucker, and film footage by Eisenstein and Kirsanov. For these and many more exciting events, you can find information at fiu.universitytickets.com or musictix, that's T-I-X, at fiu.edu. And now, back to our show with guitarist Greg Diamond and Mike Eckroth on piano.
This next piece is called Song for Jerry. It's a song that I wrote for my father, and it's featured on my my sophomore album that also Mike participated on. It's called Conduit. We just recently released the 10th anniversary edition. So here we go. Song for Jerry.
You've been listening to guitarist Greg Diamond with FIU professor Mike Eckroth on piano on the FIU Music Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM. I've been your faculty host, Dr. Russ Spiegel, and along with our executive producer, Dr. Karen Velaz, I'd like to thank our graduate students, Josephine, V, Jerry, Paul, and Ruben, WDNA sound and tech wizard, Alex Aldrich, and the staff of WDNA 88.9 for FM for today's broadcast. If you would like more information on all our programs, make sure to call 305-348-2896, or you can like our Facebook and or Instagram page to stay up to date with all our upcoming performances. Thank you so much for joining us, and make sure to join the FIU Music Hour for more great music every Tuesday, 11 a.m. to noon. Thanks again to our guests. And what's the last piece of music we're going to hear today?
Another tune of mine is called El Pozo, which means the well in Spanish. It's also featured on the record that Mike and I did back in 2012, Conduit. And also have a solo version on my solo record that's a solo acoustic called Musings and Origins. So, and this is, it's a Brazilian kind of vibe.
All right.
El Pozo.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you very much for everything, Russ.
Absolutely, Greg. Enjoy.
Thanks to WDNA for having us. It's been great.
Absolutely.
Been a lot of fun.